What is binomial nomenclature? Binomial nomenclature is nothing but naming of an organism using two names or two components. In the word itself, the meaning is there. So botanical means botany. It is nothing but study of plants. So therefore, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature gives rules and criteria for naming a plant. Binomial nomenclature has two components, right? Why? Because bi means it is two. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to this session on the chapter 1, that is the living world of class 11th biology CBSE. I'm Dr. Divya, biology faculty, Vidhyaashram School of Excellence, Mysuru. In this session, we shall discuss about a small topic, that is binomial nomenclature. We shall understand what binomial nomenclature is and then move on to studying about some of the MCQs that can be framed under this particular topic, that is binomial nomenclature. Let's learn with nomenclature. So what is nomenclature? So nomenclature is nothing but the naming of an organism. So any organism you give a name, it is called as nomenclature. We all know that there are a variety of living organisms in this world and it is difficult to identify them without names, right? And human beings also, there are millions of human beings on this planet, but it is very difficult to address a particular human being or a human if he or she doesn't have a name. The same problem occurs with organisms, other living organisms as well. So that is when the nomenclature came into existence, or the naming of the organism came into existence. And nomenclature, actually, it is done by two important organizations, that is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature ICBN and International Code for Zoological Nomenclature, that is ICZN. So here, these two sectors, that is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature and International Code for Zoological Nomenclature, they are the ones that actually set rules to name a particular organism. So we'll study about that in the coming sessions. So this was about nomenclature. So talking about binomial nomenclature. So what is binomial nomenclature? So we understood that nomenclature means naming of a particular organism or giving a scientific name to a particular organism. So what is binomial nomenclature? Binomial nomenclature is nothing but naming of an organism using two names or two components. In the word itself, the meaning is there. Bi means two. So binomial, names, nomenclature. Nomenclature means naming. So naming an organism using two names is called as binomial nomenclature. So the father of binomial nomenclature, or the scientist who first introduced binomial nomenclature, was Carolus Linnaeus. So this is a system wherein two names are provided to an organism and it is called as the generic name and the specific epithet or the species. Say for example, I have given the example of Mangifera indica here, which is nothing but mango. So here, if you can see here, there are two words or two components or two names, right? This is component 1, and indica is a separate component. It is component 2. So therefore, what does binomial nomenclature means? Giving two names to a particular organism or scientifically naming an organism with two components. So here the component 1 is called as the genus and the component 2 is called as specific epithet. So this is what is binomial nomenclature. As I told you, in the word itself it is there. Binomial means giving two names to a particular organism. So this was about binomial nomenclature. So in this topic, we concentrated mainly on binomial nomenclature, learning about binomial nomenclature. So now because you know what is nomenclature and who introduced binomial nomenclature, and we also know what are the two sectors that give rules for binomial nomenclature, and we know in detail what is binomial nomenclature, we shall go in with learning about some of the multiple choice questions that come under this particular topic. So here the first question, the naming of living organisms is called. So the options that they have given here is binomial nomenclature, classification, identification, nomenclature. So don't get confused. The naming of the living organism is called nomenclature. It is not binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature is scientific method of naming an organism with two names. But what is the question here? Here the question is just naming and living organism is called as binomial nomenclature. So therefore, here the question is naming of a living organism. It is nothing but called nomenclature. So therefore, the right answer for this is nomenclature. The next question, for plants, scientific names are based on principles and criteria framed by. There is a sector or an organization that frames some of the principles or rules or criteria for naming a plant. That was given by ICBN, that is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, ICBN. Moving on to the third one, for animals, scientific names are based on principles and criteria framed by, we have given here ICBN, IUCN, then ICZN and IBZN. The right answer is ICZN, that is International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. So botanical means botany. It is nothing but study of plants. So therefore, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature gives rules and criteria for naming a plant. International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, zoological, is for animals, gives criteria and rules for naming an animal. So the right answer here is ICZN. So the next question, ICBN stands for. So here the options are International Council of Botanical Nomenclature. That is wrong. Here it almost looks quite similar, right? So you have to be very careful while looking at the answers. International Code for Binomial Nomenclature. No, it's wrong. International Code for Botanical Nomenclature, International Code of Biological Nomenclature. The correct answer is C, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. And what is its main intention? It gives rules and criteria, or it frames rules for naming a plant. That is International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. So moving on to the next question, ICZN stands for International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, International Council for Zoological Nomenclature, International Code for Zoological Naming, International Council for Zoological Naming. The right answer here is International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, that is A. So, International Code of Zoological Nomenclature gives or sets criteria and rules for naming a animal. Next question, the system of providing a name with two components. Now here, if you remember, the first question was the system of providing name or the system of naming an organism is called as nomenclature. Here the question says, in this particular question, it is read as a system of providing a name with two components. So, two component means two. It means by, right? So, therefore, the answer here is binomial nomenclature. Next, dash is the father of binomial nomenclature. This is one of the very important question that can be asked either for a 1 mark or in the form of a MCQ. It is a very, very important question. That is, dash is the father of binomial nomenclature. It is it Carl Linnaeus, Carolus Linnaeus, Ernest Mayes, or Alfonso Corti? So the right answer here is Carl Linnaeus. The spelling is wrong there, so don't choose that. It is Carolus Linnaeus. The answer is B, Carolus Linnaeus. Moving on to the next question. Binomial nomenclature has two components. Here, binomial nomenclature has two components, right? Why? Because bi means it is two. So binomial nomenclature has how many components? 2 components. So the right answer here is B. It is 2 components. The components of binomial nomenclature are the options here: generic name, species name, specific epithet, both A and C. Right? The components of binomial nomenclature means 2 components should be there. You cannot only write either generic name or specific epithet. Both should be there. So therefore, what is the right answer here? Both A and C. It is the components of binomial nomenclature are generic name and specific epithet. The next question. In the scientific name Mangifera indica, Mangifera represents. Does it represent a species, a specific epithet, genus, or none of the above? So what does it represent? I told you binomial nomenclature means giving 2 names to one particular organism or 2 components, right? So the first component will be the genus and the second component will be the specific epithet. Therefore here Mangifera stands for the genus, because genus is the first component or the first name in a binomial nomenclature. It is genus. Next, in the scientific name Mangifera indica, indica represents. So the second word will be the specific epithet. Therefore, the indica represents the specific epithet. The answer is specific epithet. Moving on to the next one. The scientific name or binomial name of mango is, what is it? It is Mangifera indica. Again here, the answer is Mangifera indica. So this is the answer, Mangifera indica. Or Cocos indica, it is wrong. Solanum nigrum, it is for a different plant. Solanum tuberosum is nothing but potato. So therefore, for mango, it is Mangifera indica. So this was about this particular session wherein we learned a small topic, that is what is nomenclature and what is binomial nomenclature, and we learned some of the multiple choice questions that can be framed from this particular topic. So in the next session, we'll learn about the rules of binomial nomenclature and some of the multiple choice questions that can be framed from that particular topic. So we shall meet again in the coming session. Thank you.